Hey everyone, welcome back to Azeem USA. Today, we're unpacking a story that gripped an entire nation and much of the world. A story with a chilling blend of the totally everyday and the absolutely unthinkable. We are diving deep into the sensational Erin Patterson mushroom murder trial and its recent, unanimous verdict. Our mission is to distill the key insights, the most surprising facts, and the intricate twists that made this case global news. The whole tragic saga kicked off with what seemed like an ordinary family lunch on July 29, 2023, in the quiet, rural Australian town of Leongatha, Victoria. The host was Erin Patterson, a mother of two. Her guests for this Sunday afternoon meal were her estranged husband Simon's parents, Don and Gail Patterson, both 70, along with Gail's sister, Heather Wilkinson, 66, and Heather's husband, Ian Wilkinson, a local pastor. Simon himself was invited but declined, reportedly due to tension and feeling uncomfortable with the situation. On the menu, individual beef Wellington pastries, a classic comfort food, prepared and served by Erin. But what followed was anything but comforting. Within a week, the consequences were incredibly swift and utterly tragic. 3 of the guests, Don, Gail, and Heather, died. Their symptoms were horrifically indicative of death-cap mushroom poisoning, which causes rapid multi-organ failure. The toxins in these mushrooms, Amanita phalloides, literally stop protein production in liver cells and cannot be cooked, frozen, or dried out. Miraculously, Ian Wilkinson survived. After spending weeks in intensive treatment, he was eventually discharged in late September. His survival and testimony would become a pivotal point in the investigation and the subsequent trial. This stark contrast, a familiar family meal of beef Wellington transforming into a lethal event, is what made the case so unsettling and captured the public's imagination. It forces you to confront how something so seemingly innocent could become so incredibly sinister. As the tragic news spread, a major criminal investigation began, culminating in a 9-week trial with over 50 witnesses. The prosecution, led by Nanette Rogers, built their narrative by weaving together seemingly disparate details, arguing that Erin Patterson's guilt was evident in what they called various layers of deception. They centered their case on 4 calculated deceptions.
Deception number 1, the fabricated cancer claim. The prosecution alleged Patterson invented a cancer diagnosis to create a pretext, a fabricated crisis, to invite her in-laws over for the fateful lunch. Patterson countered this, admitting she lied about having cancer, but claimed it was out of embarrassment. She said she was actually trying to figure out how to tell her kids about an impending weight loss surgery. Deception number 2, the poisoned portions. The prosecution claimed Patterson secretly laced her guests' individual beef Wellingtons with lethal doses of death-cap mushrooms. The lone survivor, Ian Wilkinson, testified that Patterson's own plate looked different in size and color, implying she didn't eat the same poisoned meal. Patterson's defense? She claimed she did eat the same meal, but fared better because she later binged on cake and vomited due to an eating disorder she suffered from. Deception number 3, the faked illness. Prosecutors suggested Patterson tried to make it look like she was also suffering from mushroom poisoning to throw off suspicion. Her counterargument again referenced her eating disorder, claiming any symptoms she had were related to that, not actual poisoning. And finally, deception number 4, the sustained cover-up. This was perhaps the most crucial pillar for the prosecution. While her guests were in the hospital fighting for their lives, Patterson got rid of a food dehydrator. She initially lied to the police, denying she ever owned one, but was caught on CCTV footage dumping it at an e-waste site. Forensic analysis of the recovered dehydrator found not only her fingertips, but also crucial traces of death-cap mushrooms. They also found the instruction manual in her kitchen drawer. The digital trail was even more damning. investigators discovered she had searched the citizen science website iNaturalist for death cap mushroom sightings before the lunch. Her phone's location data placed her near towns where death caps had been flagged on that very website, and this timing lined up perfectly with when she bought the food dehydrator. To top it all off, recovered images from her phone appeared to show fungi identified by experts with high confidence as death cap mushrooms sitting on a weighing scale. The defense painted a very different picture. Their central argument was that it was all a terrible accident. They claimed Patterson had inadvertently mixed up some dried foraged mushrooms she'd picked herself with store-bought button mushrooms for the Wellingtons. They argued her actions after the fact, lying to police and dumping the dehydrator, were born of pure panic and distress, not malicious intent. They emphasized that she had no clear motive, a beautiful new home, and sole custody of her children, who were very close to the victims. Why, they asked, would she throw it all away?
Before we get to the final verdict and its implications, if you appreciate this deep dive analysis, please consider supporting the channel. You can buy us super thanks, super stickers, or use super chat during premieres. You can also join our membership, which directly supports Azeem USA and allows us to create more content like this. Your support means the world. After 6 days of deliberation, the jury of 7 men and 5 women returned a unanimous guilty verdict. Erin Patterson was found guilty on 3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Reports said she showed no visible emotion, just blinked rapidly as the verdicts were read. She now faces a maximum sentence of life in prison. By finding her guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, the jury explicitly and unequivocally rejected her entire defense narrative of accidental contamination. They concluded that she intended to kill all 4 of her lunch guests. The public fascination with this case has been immense, sparking daily podcasts and overwhelming media attention. It's a story that shatters our sense of security, showing how the most mundane circumstances can conceal the most sinister intentions. It makes you think about the narratives we construct, the facts that define them, and how quickly our perceptions can shift when the evidence comes to light. So for you, listening, what stands out most about how this case unfolded? What questions does it leave you with about the nature of truth and deception, especially when those lines are so deliberately blurred? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching Azeem USA. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next investigation.